Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm finally back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 18 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. As you can tell, I am in a different setting than before. I did move out of college just a couple of days ago, and I didn't post in those couple of days because first I had exams, and then I was taking a road trip all the way from Southern California up to Northern California, so that was a really cool experience. But I finally moved home. I'm going to be home for around 3 weeks or so, and then I'm actually going back to California to work for the summer. But yeah, in the meantime, hopefully I can get on a slightly more consistent upload schedule. Last time we left off, we were using this really fun Kommo-O Gengar team, and Gallade, I guess. Can't really feature just around one Pokemon, but it has been a blast, and we're going to get the first opponent for the day, as it is a brand new battle spot season as well. So lots of things happening, but it is good to finally be back with another video. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. First opponent of the day is going to be a Japanese opponent with Metagross, Zapdos, Landorus, Feeny, Lele, and Cresselia. So I feel like Gengar is really good here. Yeah, Gengar is solid. Kommo is like a little bit tougher to bring, mainly because of the dual Tapus, but maybe can still make an argument for it. I think Gengar is going to be really important. I could go something like Whimsicott Gengar, just to potentially like fake tears and knock something out immediately. I think that's actually kind of tempting. So Whimsicott Gengar, I think Gallade's pretty decent here. Not the biggest fan of Milotic. It's pretty weak other than against the Landorus, and if Feeny comes out, then I can't even burn the potential Metagross. So I think I'm actually going to go Whimsicott Gengar. Gonna go Gallade. Gallade still puts on decent pressure with Ice Punch and Zen Headbutt. The last one's kind of tricky. I think like Lele is probably a better choice in this one, just because I think my opponent's probably gonna bring both Tapus, and with Lele I can get the Psychic Terrain, which means Zen Headbutt hits harder against Feeny Zapdos. So yeah, I think this is one of the first times I'm not bringing Kommo with this team, but with dual Tapus and a Metagross, just not sure I'll be in a position where I can set it up really freely. But yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to use Kommo is because I thought it was a really not underrated, but I guess just underused Pokemon. I still think it's really good, and we've actually definitely seen that recently with some regional championships. It won 2 regionals in the last couple of weekends, so yeah, pretty cool to see that. There's going to be Metagross Lele coming out, so this does mean that I can't go immediately for a Fake Tears, which is kind of problematic, but it's not the end of the world. Like, I do get the ability to Tailwind immediately. So, the question is, does something protect? With Gengar on this team, like, it would be fair for my opponent to assume that I'm Mega Gengar, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see Lele just go straight for a Protect and Metagross go for a Zen Headbutt into Gengar. So, I think with that then, I'm just going to launch a Shadow Ball into Metagross. I'd be willing to trade Gengar for Tailwind and for about like 60-70% of damage onto Metagross. I think that's a pretty favorable trade. Yeah, I could have Sludge Bomb Lele. That might have been better, honestly, because I think my opponent might think I'm Mega Gar, but I could see Lele also just switching out here immediately. But no switch out. Yeah, I'm also not prioritizing knocking it out as quickly. I think Metagross is actually a bigger problem, mainly because I've got Gallade and Lele in the back. Yeah, Lele protects. Okay, good. So with Scarf Gengar, not much I could have done to avoid this. Ideally, actually, Metagross targets like Whimsicott instead of Gengar, expecting Gengar to protect as well, but we'll see. Because if I were a Mega Gengar and I protected turn 1, I would have been actually in a really good spot. But the Shadow Ball there actually, I think, crits the Metagross. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I think even without it, I still would have been in a pretty good spot, especially if Metagross targeted the Whimsicott, expecting Gengar to protect. But yeah, that puts me in a really, really advantageous position. So feel kind of bad about that, but, you know, oh well. Zapdos is going to come out. So, Zapdos coming out is pretty interesting, actually, because I can still Fake Tears it, despite Psychic Terrain being up, because it's not grounded. So, I think I actually will go for the Fake Tears here onto the Zapdos. I don't think Fake Tears plus Shadow Ball will knock out Zapdos. I'm just going to launch a Shadow Ball into Lele here. Yeah, honestly, with that turn 1, like, I have a huge advantage in this game, so just got to not throw it at this point. Anytime, like, you get some good fortune like that early on in the game, and it's like, you know, it can be game defining. You really want to carry it as much as you can. So I'm gonna get the Fake Tears off. This will mean that a Psychic from my Lele should be able to knock out Zapdos now. And yeah, I didn't double up mainly because I didn't think it would knock out the Zapdos. Zapdoses are pretty bulky typically. Shadow Ball there actually knocks out the Lele. Not even a critical hit there, so that probably is like full offensive Lele. Zapdos just launches a Heat Wave, which is fine by me. So this game is probably going to end pretty quickly. As, yeah, Heat Wave brings Whimsicott under half, and doesn't bring Gengar under half. So, yeah, I'm surprised that, you know, I would expect the Lele actually to be able to tank the combination of, or sorry, tank the Shadow Ball. Like, Sludge Bomb obviously does more damage, but I am modest. So, that could play some impact into it. I really expected it to survive though, so that's still kind of surprising, but I'm just going to double up onto Zapdos here. Most Zapdoses don't carry Protect. Feeny doesn't threaten me too much right now, especially with Lele and Gallade in the back, so pretty straightforward game, but Scarf Gengar definitely put in a lot of work in this game. I think my opponent also might have just expected to outspeed with the Metagross if he was expecting normal Gengar, but -3 Zapdos now, Shadow Ball there does get the clean knockout, so Gengar taking every knockout this game with Shadow Ball, as Feeny does go for Muddy Water. This game would have been drastically different, I think, had the Metagross just gone for the Gengar target turn 1, and it knocked me out, but unfortunately, yeah, I got the critical hit there. I think, even if you knock me out, though, I'm still, like I said, in a decent position. It'd just be kind of awkward, mainly because, like, don't have great firepower against my opponent's Lele, but, yeah, that was, yeah, I don't know. I won this, but it still doesn't feel like that great of a game because I feel like I didn't have like a definitive game plan. So I'm not particularly fond. I'll talk about that in a bit, but I'll just endeavor Shadow Ball here. Mainly because I feel like, yeah, I was still kind of weak to Metagross Lele, and Whimsicott doesn't really do any damage, so a lot of it really would have come down to who the Metagross was targeting on that first turn. I just realized I Shadow Balled and then endeavored because I'm Scarf, but that's fine. So, yeah, let's say the Metagross does target down Gengar turn 1. What do? Metagross probably takes around 60-70% health. I think I probably bring in my Lele and go for the knockout into Metagross. The other question is, does my opponent ever target down Whimsicott? Because if my opponent does, then I can just endeavor it. As I'll Fake Tear Shadow Ball. But yeah, Scarf Gengar definitely putting in a lot of work here. I kind of just came up with the idea, but I actually think it's pretty solid right now, especially with the Kommo teams running out, because a lot of those teams will have Scarf Bulu as well, so not only do you get the jump on Scarf Bulu, with HP Ice you outspeed Scarf Landorus's, and of course you knock out any Mega Gengars before they get to get anything off, so yeah. Not exactly the most exciting first game, I'd say. It is a brand new Battle Spot Season 2, so we're back down in 1500, but yeah, that critical hit, definitely very fortunate. That should not knock out Mega Metagross without the critical hit, so yeah. Alright, we're going to find Air 1 from Italy for our second opponent of the day. Just had a game, but it disconnected after the first turn, so that was kind of unfortunate. And my Wi-Fi is finally good, so I was, because I am home, so fortunately my opponent's at. My opponent had a really good turn 1 too, so I feel kind of bad about that, but oh well. Anyway, this next game is going to be a ridiculous one because we're going up against a Kommo team, so this is going to be fun. Now, I think the Scarf Gengar actually gives me a huge advantage in this matchup. The question is whether my opponent knows I'm Scarfed or not. Whimsicott, Gengar, Bulu, Landorus, Charizard, and Kommo. Okay. I think the best way to approach this is leading my own Whimsicott and Gengar, because I've got Tailwind Pressure. I think I probably... Do I even want to bring Kommo into this matchup? I think Lele is probably appropriate. This is tough. All of my Pokemon are quite good here. Like, even Gallade I'm tempted to. So I'm really torn here. I think I'm going to go Lele Kommo, though. I do have quite a good matchup, I feel like, especially because I did tech in Scarf Gengar specifically to deal with, like, these kind of teams. So we'll see if that actually, you know, has any effect on the game or not. But I do like this, I think. Lele mainly because it outspeeds Kommo. And even without the Z move, I'm putting on a lot of pressure. My own Kommo is still pretty good. I'm curious as to whether or not my opponent has Dazzling Gleam on Bulu. That's actually a tech that we've seen more recently. But it should be interesting. So, Battle of the Kommos. Like I mentioned, one of the reasons why I wanted to use this team was because I thought Kommo is still kind of underused and I think underexplored. I think Whimsicott is also really good with it. But we've seen a couple of really cool Kommo teams win regionals recently, with like all kinds of support. In Utah, there was one with like Belly Drum and the Z move, which I thought was really interesting. It's gonna be Gengar and Charizard coming out here. Okay, this is really interesting. Actually, I just realized like only one of these is gonna be Mega. It's probably Charizard, so that's regular Gengar, which I didn't even really think about. Okay, well with that, I'm just going to Tailwind. I want to Shadow Ball the Gengar. It's likely it protects, though, and Charizard just Heat Waves. Yeah, I didn't even think about it in Team Preview. I just assumed both would be Megas. So, wonder if that's also Scarf Gengar on my opponents, and that would be really interesting. Yeah, I'm going to Tailwind and launch the Shadow Ball into Gengar in case it is sashed. Because then I can maybe Fake Tears and Z-move the next turn. If it protects, then I probably lose Gengar to a Heat Wave. It's regular Charizard? Or is it both Megas and my opponent literally just brought both Megas? I'm so confused right now. Okay. Yes, this is where the Scarf Gengar comes out. That's so satisfying. Oh my god. Bye. Nice. Yeah, when I built this team, like, I really Theory-Moned it. And Overheat from Charizard, okay. Into... Oh, that's so good, because now I can just Fake Tears everything, too. Wow. Maybe, I'm guessing it is double Mega, then. And my opponent just thought that Charizard was good enough to bring into this matchup. Why? I guess it has good coverage against Gengar and Whimsicott, and Lele, and Gallade. So you don't necessarily need the Mega Evolution. But yeah, I'm like, it's gotta be Mega Charizard. Alright, so Kommo's coming out now. But I've got Tailwind, which is obviously advantageous. Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna Endeavor the Kommo. And go for a Shadow Ball. Like, yeah, even if you get the Z move off, that's fine, because I'll just outspeed you. So, okay. Charizard stays in, which makes sense. I think it probably should stay in at this point. As Shadow Ball does like a good 60% to it or so, and Endeavor brings Kommo down to 1 HP. So, Charizard's gonna Heat Wave. I'll probably get the double knockout here, but I've still got 2 turns of Tailwind left, so, as I get burned from Gengar, which is unfortunate. But that's fine, because Kommo's Z-moving here. In fact, I don't even need to go for the Z-move with my Kommo. I think I'm probably just gonna Z-move with Lele. Yeah. Just to guarantee the knockout against Kommo, because it will knock it out through Protect. So as mentioned, this is copyrighted, so I'll see you guys after the animation. Okay, so do lose my Gengar, but that's fine. I've still got 2 turns of Tailwind left. My opponent might bank on a double right now. I'm just thinking whether it's better to just Z-move with Lele or Kommo. Because Lele Z-moving will guarantee the knockout on Kommo, and then I can just... Like, Charizard's more or less forced to switch out as well. So I could Z-move, and what do I think my opponent's last Pokemon is going to be? I think I'm going to Z-move because I'm worried about my opponent double protecting and then getting like a Tailwind up with Whimsicott potentially in the back, I think. Because Charizard's absolutely useless right now. There is Landers in the back. I guess that's kind of scary. Let's say I Z-move with Kommo and Psychic. What's the downside there? I guess my opponent still really can't... oh, but if Whimsicott is in the back, you could switch in Charizard into Whimsicott, and I actually wouldn't get my Z-move off at all. I think I'm just going to go for the knockout onto Kommo here. And I'm going to Flamethrower. I don't want to Clanging Scales yet. Okay, neither switch out. So, obviously it would have been better if I Z-move with Kommo here. But I didn't. My opponent could still Tailwind. I guess if my opponent has Tailwind and like on this Charizard and Landers in the back, I still could be in some trouble. But Landers shouldn't be able to knock out these 2 Pokemon at once, and Psychic plus Clanking Scale should be able to knock it out in return. Flamethrower here shouldn't knock... I don't think it'll knock out Charizard. But if it does, that'd be nice. Yeah, I wanted to cover all my options there. But maybe it was safe Z-moving with Kommo anyway. Flamethrower doesn't do much there. Charizard just overheats again, that's fine. So no Tailwind is good. This actually still does a hefty amount to the Lele, but that's okay. So let's see what's the last one in the back. It's Tapu Bulu. Okay. That's really fine to see, I think. Especially if it's Scarf Bulu. Because if it's Scarf Bulu, I still have 1 turn of Tailwind here. So I'm just going to Moonblast. I'm going to double up onto Bulu. Because Charizard's obviously dead weight at this point for my opponent. It's at -4. And if it isn't Scarf Bulu, then I should be able to just outspeed naturally after Tailwind. So I think I've pinned my opponent right now. So yeah, I didn't go for the Z move on Kommo, because if my opponent switches out the Charizard into Bulu and protects the Kommo, yeah, Charizard protects. I'm obviously not going to target that. Question is Bulu Scarfed or not? Looks like it. Well, it's not protecting, so that should lock up the game for me. Oh, actually, Moonblast really doesn't do very much there. Is it AV Bulu? Might be. Leech Seed. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's bulky Bulu. So that's pretty interesting, but that means it's not Scarfed, which means I'll just outspeed it after... Like, yeah, my opponent still can't do anything. It's Lefty's Bulu. Bulky Lefty's Bulu. I feel like the more optimal play there is still to go for the knockout onto Lele. Because then maybe you can actually... I guess then you wouldn't have enough recovery, and I'd still just be able to knock it out with a flamethrower, so I don't know. Let's see. Probably better just a Moonblast. Although I'm worried about getting crit, I guess. But, yeah, I'll Moonblast the Bulu. Actually, no, I'm going to Psychic Charizard, that's better. Psychic Charizard and Flamethrower Bulu. I was definitely not expecting bulky Bulu. Yeah, Bulu does protect here. So, Bulu actually could protect the last turn, but then that still doesn't really make much of a difference. It just gives me more recovery. Charizard's going to overkeep, but as long as it doesn't crit, I'm fine. Yeah. So now I can just double up on Bulu next turn for the knockout. But, yeah, for how good turn 1 was, I feel like this was still kind of a scary game. So, yeah, once again, the logic behind not Z-moving with Kommo is I was worried, like, the one way I thought I could lose this game is if Kommo sweeps me, and I don't get set up with mine. But I suppose my opponent's Kommo couldn't really touch my Kommo or Lele. And it was already so low, so maybe it was better just to go for the boost immediately. Either way, a double up will knock out Bulu again. It can try to continue recovering, but I'm also healing back from grassy terrain, so not much it can do here. The more I think about it, the more I think it's probably better to just Z-move with my Kommo. But once again, the fear is that my opponent has 2 potential fairies in the back, so you could switch out until the fairy negate my Z-move, and then I'm slower and your Kommo's still around. I do get a crit there to end the game, but... Yeah, I don't know, kind of questionable decision from my opponent to bring Charizard and Gengar, and not protect the Gengar turn 1. But, yeah, this is where the bait of the my Gengar lies, you know. I just am still kind of shocked that the Gengar doesn't protect there, because even if you expect me to be like Mega Gengar, like you're risking Speed Ties turn 1, and if I were Mega Gengar, I could just Shadow Ball you, so I feel like it was optimal for my opponent to protect that Gengar turn 1. But I went for the Shadow Ball, like, knowing, okay, like, either force you to protect or I bring you down to a potential Sash of your regular Gengar, and that sets up basically my Kommo in the back. So, yeah. Pretty interesting game, definitely, but we're just going to look for our 3rd game today. I don't know, I don't feel like I've played, like, especially well. It's more that, like, my opponents have kind of walked into the trap that I've set up, which is, I guess, kind of nice, but Scarf Gengar today has definitely put in a lot of work. We'll like to get Gallade out on the field, though, so let's see if it makes an appearance as we look for our 3rd game. Going to be JSC from Florida with a rating of 1565. Rocking a pretty cool team. Porygon, the Mega Venusaur, Incineroar, Koko, Araquanid, and Megra. So definitely a team complet. I've seen somewhat throughout. This will be interesting. The question I always have is, like, when does the Incineroar come out? Because Incineroar, you'd imagine, does want to come out here. I kind of like actually going Gengar Kommo. Because I can get the Z move off immediately, and I put on pressure against the Koko. Gengar Kommo Gallade Milotic. Lele is nice, though. I mean, Lele is always good against Venusaur. Do you even bring Venusaur into this matchup? I feel like the answer is no. What do I do if I'm my opponent? Who do I bring? I bring the Metagross for sure. I think I bring Porygon. I think I bring Araquanid. And I would bring Koko, personally. So if my opponent went with those, what's ideal? Wimgar. Or Gengar Kommo. Gengar Kommo's pretty good against that too. It's just like leading Milotic would be so nice. It is really tempting. This is tough. Gengar Kommo, Milotic. I feel like not bringing Lele seems like a mistake, but I do want to feature Gallade a little bit more. Alright, this is definitely pretty different from the way I've played with this team so far. We haven't had too many games or episodes with it, but this should be interesting. I don't know if I agree with my decision, quite honestly. I feel like Lele is probably a better pick. But the thing is, I'm bringing Kommo, and as a result, I'm probably going to be using the Z move with Kommo, so it means I shouldn't be Z moving with Lele, which is why I didn't want to bring it. But let's see. It's just, yeah, if my opponent leads Incineroar here, I'll be kind of frustrated, because that was a free in for my Lodic, but no Incineroar, it's Koko Metagross, okay. This is still not that great, though. Now, the question actually is, does the Metagross have Zen Headbutt? It's gonna have probably Zen Headbutt or Ice Punch, though, so I guess neither are too great. I mean, I want to Sludge Bomb Koko immediately. I could Sludge Bomb Z move. That does allow me to at least get my Z move off, but then I'm still really weak against Koko. So what do I think my opponent's gonna do turn 1 here? Does my opponent, 1, expect the Scarf? If you expect the Scarf, I mean, like, you also could just think on Z and Protect. I think I will go for the Sludge Bomb, though. And the Z move. I want to get that speed boost up immediately. Oh. Okay, I'll take that, for sure. That's great. And let's see, download is going to give it the special attack boost. Okay, that is so nice. Wow. That is not what I expected at all. And it's not Sash Koko or AV Koko either. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Like, once again, I don't think I've made, like, great plays today. It's more... I think Scarf Gengar has just put in so much work today. I truly think it's actually a good set right now. And I'm not, like, too in touch with the metagame, but I just theoried it. And I don't know. I'm a fan. But, yeah. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased towards giving the games today. But, yeah, I'll see you guys after this animation. So we're back. I do almost 50% to Porygon because it's single target. I think obviously my opponent was just expecting a Shadow Ball to go into Metagross and like probably just trying to get a Dazzling Gleam off or a Z move onto Gengar. And that was pretty much the worst case scenario for my opponent. Get a free knockout onto the biggest threat to my Koko. Porygon's now in an awkward spot because I could potentially just double up into it for a knockout. And the Incineroar is going to come out though, so this means my opponent probably gets a Trick Room up, but at what cost, right? Because I can pretty easily switch into my Lodic here. Kommo's probably going to be the one getting faked out here. You pretty much have to. I'll go for the Clanging Scales just to get the chip damage, but I don't expect Kommo to get an attack off here. Because you know I'm Scarfed. But I want to switch into my Lodic just because my Lodic is really good against the Incineroar right now. Porygon switches out too. Oh, okay. I thought that was a free fake out Trick Room play, but I guess Metagross here maybe to take the potential Sludge Bomb. Incineroar doesn't even go for a fake out. Maybe fearing the Lele switch in, that would make some sense. So, yep. And Incineroar's just going to go for a knockoff into the Milotic. So that's at least a good play. Does get rid of my Berry, which is quite useful in this matchup. But I think I'm still in a really good spot, especially with Gallade in the back. I mean, I can just close combat Incineroar now. Yeah, I'm going to close combat in Icy Wind. What that accomplishes is, close combat should knock out Incineroar. It will knock out Porygon if it switches in. Metagross, it could choose not to Mega Evolve, but it probably should Mega Evolve, and if it does Mega Evolve, then my Gallade will guaranteed be faster than it. Although, sorry, Gallade's faster than it anyway, so maybe I should just Scald. Yeah, I'm going to close combat Incineroar and Scald. The Incineroar here could... It doesn't look like it's Assault Vest. Metagross is Mega Evolve. Yeah, it's good. And at this point, it's also in Shadow Ball KR range, and Gallade should be able to close out this game. So yeah, I mean, the first 2 turns of the game, like, I could not have asked it to play out any better than it did. So I will get the close combat off against the Incineroar, and that does get the knockout very nicely. Cool. However, I am at -2 defense, so Metagross should be able to pick off my Incineroar now with an attack. As it does have Ice Punch, and it is going to go for it. But that's fine. As now I can just bring out Gallade. I think Gallade's faster than Mega Metagross, right? I thought it was, but I should double check that. I get a burn on Metagross, though, to add insult to injury. So that pretty much effectively guarantees me the game. But I'm going to bring out Gallade here. I do want to double check Mega Gallade's stats real quick, though. I thought it was 115. But I could totally be wrong here, so let's double check real quick. Because Icy Wind would have been a... Oh, it is 110, actually. So I kind of messed that up. I should have Icy Winded to guarantee the game. That was my bad. But, yeah, now with the burn, you definitely can't knock out Gallade. I don't think... even if I weren't burned, you can't knock out Gallade. So even if I lost the speed tie, I can just close combat Porygon. So I think that plays fine. But I think Icy Winding is just slightly more optimal. Either way, I'm just going to double up onto Porygon here. Yeah. That turn 1 could have played out so differently if Koko protects. But it looks like Metagross didn't have Zen Headbutt, so I think I still get the Z move off anyway, and you actually can't knock out either Gengar or Kommo-O. So I actually still wouldn't have been in that bad of a position. But, okay, yep, Gallade does get the close combat off. That should knock out Porygon. Seeing close combat go off against Porygon is like one of the most satisfying things to see in the game, especially when he just gets the knockout. So, I'll Fate, and... yeah, I gotta give credits to Scarf Gengar today. I think that really was the main reason I won every game that I did as Ice Punch, yeah. Even with the defense drop doesn't come close. So I don't think Iron Head would have knocked me out anyway. So even without the burn, I would have been fine. Because I can just close combat Porygon. I guess I would have been in risk of Iron Heading, flinching, or critting. But so my opponent would have first needed to win a speed tie if it was max speed Metagross. And given that it's on a Porygon team, it is likely that maybe it's not max speed Metagross. So you need to win the speed tie, and you need to get a flinch or a crit. So odds of that are pretty slim. But an Icy Wind would have guaranteed me the win there. Just because I can close combat Porygon safely. I guess I can't say guarantee because we did run into Protect Porygon just a couple of episodes back, but yeah, we do get in 3 wins for this episode. So yeah, Scarf Gengar really putting in work today, but Kommo and Gallade also coming out, and all the Pokemon really were relevant, so that's always nice to see. First episode back after a while, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely some interesting games, I'd say. I don't think I played too well, but the gimmicks on my team definitely came through in Best of 1 today, and cool teams for my opponents as always. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I am good to be back, and yeah, I am literally just spending my next 3 weeks at home and not doing much other than hanging out with friends and stuff. So, should be able to get content out pretty much on a daily basis. I hope you guys look forward to that. I know not too many people seem to be too interested in VGC at like this time in this moment, but hopefully I can at least build some hype with NA Internationals coming up in like a month or so. So, yeah. Thank you guys as always for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Alright, peace.